Back in February, it was a cop killer named Christopher Dorner who had law enforcement families across Southern California double locking their doors. Well, tonight, officers of the court and their loved ones in Texas know that feeling of vulnerability after the murder of a district attorney and his wife and an assistant DA. Proof that taking the oath to keep the peace comes with a price, and ABC's Pierre Thomas has the latest on the manhunt.
The details of the double murder could be ripped from a legal thriller.
Shortly after 6 p.m., we received a call of a possible deceased person.
A veteran district attorney gunned down in his own home alongside his wife this weekend.
We proceeded to that scene and they did find the district attorney, Mr. McClellan, and his wife, Cynthia, deceased at that time. They both had been shot.
Kaufman County District Attorney Mike McClellan apparently executed by multiple shots from an assault rifle. His wife, Cynthia, murdered too as the assailants forced his way in. Such a brazen attack on a top law enforcement official is almost unheard of in small communities like this one. But just weeks ago, Mike McClellan himself stood before a bank of microphones and spoke directly to the unknown killers of one of his top deputies. Assistant DA Mark Hasse was shot in broad daylight outside the county courthouse in January by two suspects wearing black SWAT gear.
I hope that the people that did this are watching, because we're very confident that we're going to find you. We're going to pull you out of whatever hole you're in.
But instead of tracking down those killers, McClellan was gunned down as well. This is the third killing of a public safety official in weeks, unleashing a shockwave of fear and a nationwide search for answers.
Obviously, we're under attack. We've seen 2 attacks within the last few months on district attorneys and even other law enforcement officials.
There's a certain vulnerability, there's no doubt about it.
I would be less than honest if I told you that I was not worried.
Security at county buildings and even at the officials' homes has been visibly increased.
We're very much on alert. We obviously have some folks that are out to do harm to elected officials, and so we take that very seriously.
The bold attacks have spurred a warning from the National District Attorneys Association.
The truth of the matter is, if somebody wants to kill you, as a prosecutor, it's very difficult to deal with that because we don't have security details.
So what are prosecutors telling each other and their staffs across the state?
The first thing they're doing this morning when they open their offices is reevaluating their security. Every office, I think, at this point is concerned about that, and they're talking to local law enforcement and their own investigators about what they need to be doing to protect themselves.
But who would do such a thing? Officials tell ABC News they have few good leads. The county sheriff's department is taking the lead in the case, but dozens of investigators from the Texas Rangers, the FBI, ATF, and the U.S. Marshals have joined the hunt. Prosecutors are reviewing cases looking for motives and any similarities in the cases, including any possible links to the murder of Colorado's chief of corrections, gunned down at his front door just 2 weeks ago.
RP is saying that somebody rang the doorbell, the husband answered and was shot.
The suspect in that case, Evan Ebel, was believed to be a member of a white supremacist prison gang who fled Colorado and was killed in a high-speed chase just 100 miles from Kaufman County.
When he came by me, he was, I'm going to say, probably running about 100 miles an hour.
Before his death, McClellan said his office had made a big dent into the white supremacist group, Aryan Brotherhood of Texas. And just last fall, federal prosecutors indicted dozens of members of the group on multiple charges of drug trafficking. Sources tell ABC News last December, law enforcement officials sent out a bulletin warning that the group planned to retaliate.
Certainly, if it turns out to be the case that they're able to prove that Aryan Brotherhood of Texas was involved in these hits, it's very cartel-like. These gangs are, capable of extreme violence against their own members, against rivals. And, maybe they've decided to move on to public officials who are standing in the way of their business.
A clear concern to individuals who are in public life, particularly those who deal with some very mean and vicious individuals, whether they're white supremacy groups or whether they're the drug cartels that we have.
Whatever the motive behind the attacks in Kaufman, the ramifications are clear.
It's not only an assault on those two and their families, but it's an assault on the rule of law. It's an assault on the criminal justice system, and we've got to find them, and find them quickly.
Tonight, the street where the grisly murders took place has reopened. But still, there are uneasy feelings, especially among the people whose job it is to defend us, now feeling under assault. For Nightline, I'm Pierre Thomas, Kaufman, Texas.